The National and Eastern Cape Police Commissioners have been found in contempt of court today for failing to implement a safety plan in order to prevent attacks on long-distance buses. The High Court in Makhanda has also ordered the pair to resume police escorts as well as increase visibility along routes where these buses operate. Let's speak now to Intercape CEO Johann Ferreira, who's been fighting this battle legally. A very good evening to you, Johan. Good to have your time tonight. Would I be right to say that you're well pleased then today with what the court has said?
Yes, as far as Intercape is concerned, obviously we are pleased, especially when we got the punitive cost. But it's a sad day for South Africa. It's a sad day. It's a sad state of affairs when private sector, or anyone for that matter, has to take legal action and to force the hand of the police to actually get off their seat and go and do their job.
And given the doing of the jobs, one of the things that the court has said is that buses such as yours should be given protection because you had come under attack from people in the taxi industry, which is why we ended up here. Do you know when those escorts will resume? Because at the moment, I'd imagine even your fleets are doing a lot more trips given that it's the end of the year and more people are wanting to travel.
Correct. You're 100% correct. Well, the court was very, very specific. The judge said immediately both the national and the provincial commissioners of police have to immediately personally see that these services get re-implemented. You must also remember that we have applied for contempt of court in the professional and private capacity. So in the fifth and the sixth respondent, both these two commissioners were cited in their person. And furthermore, they have to, within 30 days, file a comprehensive plan. How are they going to ensure that these safety measures that they implement immediately, which is basically today, will be monitored and be still in place in time to come? The big problem here is obviously the festive season. We have to move 360,000 passengers in 30 days. So it's a lot, and the Eastern Cape is very busy. So I'm not sure how they're going to comply. I can't see that they will comply. I can see that we will be back in court within 30 days, and somebody's going to get jailed.
And by that, am I right to say, I understand you to be saying tonight that there's been no communication, or any indication that police intend to comply? Because if it's an immediate order, buses are moving as we speak, if I'm right, so there should be something being done.
Yeah, you're correct. We've not seen any movement, and we'll be monitoring. We obviously record everything, which all the communication between us and the police we record. We send it through to our legal team, and that forms part of the attachment as evidence when we draw up these affidavits. So we have already started to gather information of the non-compliance.
And just explain to those of us who aren't in the Eastern Cape, Johan, why this protection for your fleet is so important. What is the level of danger faced by drivers and passengers along those routes?
You know, the problem is you just don't know. When you're dealing with terrorism, you just don't know. This is urban terrorism, and the problem is the police has not arrested a single person. In the last 2 years, 175 cases has been reported, ranging from murder to attempted murder to extortion to racketeering, collusion. No one has been arrested. Although we have given them ample information, no one was arrested. The level of danger is high when we don't have our private security in place and when policing is not happening. We will have our private security in place until such time as we see that the police are doing the escorts and are safeguarding the coaches. At the moment, we are doing two jobs. We are doing our daily job, which is transporting passengers as a transporter should, and then we're doing the police work where we have employed our own task team and a private security company to help us to combat these attacks.
And what are the implications of that, especially the security element at a business level? What does that do for profits? And what does that do for people who are booking a bus ticket to travel in the Eastern Cape? Are they paying more than they would have?
Yeah, unfortunately, it comes off the bottom line. You know, we unfortunately have to fund it out of our operational profits, and it comes from the bottom line. So we can't recoup that from any price. We can't charge a levy security levy or protection levy on the ticket. So we have to be competitive with our prices. So it makes the company less profitable. But, this is what the cost of doing business in Africa is. There is a cost to it, unfortunately. And it's because of the poor service of the police, which is in turn bad government. We have to see a change in government. There's no doubt about that. And 2024 will show that.
So this has now forced you as Intercape to take a political stance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, what we're saying is we cannot continue with the current political situation in the country because the government are not protecting its citizens. So it's just a comment, and it's not an ANC comment or a political comment. It's just a general comment. The government of the day has taken a stance where they are fighting with taxpayers' money, not to protect its citizens, its constituents. They stem from the Eastern Cape and all around the country, but specifically the Eastern Cape has voted for the current government. And one draws this conclusion. If you look at the affidavits, you look at the huge sums of money that comes from the taxpayers' coffers. Again, this is with punitive cost.
And let's go through, Johan, why it is that government basically is fighting you on this, because you have been in this battle for more than a year now, almost 2 years, in fact, where you have been fighting to have these escorts reinstated.
Well, I don't know. In the end of the day, we have written to the state president more than 2 years ago. We have written to Bekele and also for Kilian Balula, which was then the Minister of Transport, and it fell on deaf ears. They did not move a finger. They didn't even speak out on the matter. So Fikile has filed his applications to fight us. We've now seen what happened with the police, and we have been in court with Bekele. We had one round with him, and we were waiting the judge's judgment on it. And I believe that Bekele will come second, and he will have to answer why no arrest has been made. So it boggles the mind when you think that this sort of thing are being allowed and even fought with taxpayers' money. I think I've not seen any of my opponents coming on television or radio or newspapers speaking out or actually putting their side of the story. It's only me that's speaking to the press. My phone has been ringing off the hook, and I'm doing press interviews left, right, and center, and it's dead silent. But this is Ramaphosa's diplomacy. He doesn't speak out easily on anything, for that matter.
So, Johan, how much further are you willing to take this fight? Because as you said earlier, you're very much expecting that government or the SAPS and the two commissioners are not going to comply with the order granted in Makhanda today. So that suggests in 30 days you'll be back in court fighting. How far will you go?
Look, I believe never enter a fight if you're not willing to finish it. We're going to finish this fight, and we're going to take it all the way to the Constitutional Court. You must remember that 30% of the work that Intercape does is tourism work. And we have now seen in the last 2 weeks what has happened to a tourist bus that was on its way from Sun City. It was attacked. Now, we have seen these attacks in the Western Cape, where it happened like 1 kilometer from the international airport. So God forbid a tourist bus gets attacked in the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, or any other province. It will hit the international headlines. And government cannot turn around and say they didn't know. They've been forewarned, and they've been fighting this thing. So we will take it all the way until such time as arrests are made, people are being jailed, and the police will adhere to the court, the highest authority in the country. They don't have a choice here. We have to honor the law.
Johann Ferreira, Intercape CEO, good to have your time, sir, tonight. Thank you very much for your time.